It's midday. Good afternoon. Here is the midday news on OGBC. My name is TEMITOPE Babalola. First, the major items. First Lady advocates community-based interventions to curb drug abuse. Ogun State government is reassuring of measures to support investment. US and China are to commence talks over trade disputes. A call has gone to state government to embrace and entrench community-based interventions that will curb the impact of substance abuse and illicit drug trafficking at the grassroots. The First Lady Senator Oluremi Tinubu made the call said it became imperative in order to achieve the National Drug Control Master Plan (NDCMP). Delivering a keynote address at a capacity building workshop organized by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) for members of the Nigeria Governors Spouses Forum (NGSF) in Abuja on Tuesday, Senator Tinubu stressed the need for a collaborative effort to respond to the drug war. The First Lady, who was represented by the wife of the Deputy Senate President, Ajia Leila Jubrain Barrow, applauded the NDLEA and the NGSF for taking the drug war to the grassroots. President Bola Tinubu has been given a pat on the back for placing a ban on importation of foreign goods. A former chief whip of the Senate, Senator Ali Undume, gave the commendation in a statement on Tuesday. According to Senator Undume, the bold initiative by Mr. President would go a long way to promote indigenous entrepreneurs, boost the local economy, and generate employment for Nigerians. He noted that the initiative, if implemented faithfully, will shield local producers striving to find their feet from being choked out of existence by some established foreign investors who flood Nigerian markets with goods that are cheaper and even substandard. The federal government remains committed to strengthening access to justice, promoting transparency in business operations, and empowering communities to actively participate in decisions that affect their lives and livelihood. The Attorney General of the Federation (AGF) and Minister of Justice, Prince Lateef Fagbemi, gave the assurance while declaring open a national dialogue on business and human rights in Abuja, noting that the national dialogue was a step towards embedding human rights within the conduct of business in Nigeria. The AGF stated that the adoption of the National Action Plan on Business and Human Rights stands as a milestone, aligning with the nation's global best practices, particularly the United Nations Guiding Principles on Business and Human Rights (UNGPS). In the meantime, the current administration in Ogun State has put in place an integrated ecosystem of infrastructure to support investment coming into the state. The governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, stated this while receiving the president of Inner Galaxy Group, Mr. Lee Shuang, in Abeokuta on Tuesday. He emphasized that required infrastructure like roads, rail, heating, affordable housing accommodations, medical infrastructure, and schools have been made available in the state. With abundant human and natural resources, alluvial gold had been discovered in large quantities, just as the state has the highest quality of lithium. Earlier, the president of Inner Galaxy Group, Mr. Shuang, disclosed that his company was ready to set up a $400 million hot rolled coiled steel factory with the capacity to employ about 6,500 direct and indirect workers in Iweko local government of the state. You're listening to the Media News on OGBC 90.5 FM. The United States and Chinese officials are set to start talks this week to try to de-escalate a trade war between the world's two biggest economies. According to China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Chinese Vice Premier Mr. He Lifeng will attend the talks in Switzerland from 9th to 12th May. The U.S. Treasury Secretary Mr. Scott Bessent and U.S. Trade Representative Ambassador Jamieson Greer will represent Washington at the meeting. Since returning to the White House, President Donald Trump has imposed new import taxes on Chinese goods of up to 145%. Beijing has hit back with levies on some goods from the US of 125%. It will be the first high-level interaction between the two countries since Chinese Vice President Mr. Han Zheng attended Mr. Trump's inauguration in January. Meanwhile, China this Wednesday eased key monetary policy tools in a bid to boost its ailing economy as it struggles with the effect of weak consumption and President Donald Trump's trade war. The country's leaders are battling to reignite growth, which has not fully recovered since the COVID-19 pandemic, crippled by sluggish domestic demand and a protracted property sector crisis. This Wednesday, the head of China's central bank, Mr. Pan Gongsheng, told a news conference that Beijing would cut a key interest rate and lower the amount that banks must hold in reserve in order to boost lending. He said that Beijing's policies aimed to support technological innovations, boost consumption, and promote inclusive finance, among other areas. India launched military strikes on Pakistan this Wednesday, and Pakistan claimed that it shot down five Indian Air Force jets in an escalation that has pushed the two nations to the brink of wider conflict. The escalation puts the two neighbors with a long history of conflict in dangerous territory, with Islamabad vowing to retaliate against India's strike and the international community calling for restraint. New Delhi said the strikes are in response to the massacre of 26 people, mostly Indian tourists, who died in April when gunmen stormed a scenic mountain spot in the Indian-administered part of Kashmir, a disputed border region. India has blamed Pakistan for the attack, which Islamabad denied. And now to sports. The Ogun State Governor Prince Dakwa Abiodun has said that finishing touches have been put on facilities in all the venues that would be used for the National Sports Festival tagged Gateway Games 2024. Speaking while playing host to the sports editors under the aegis of the Guild of Sports Editors at the Olusegun Oshoba Press Center, Governor's Office, Okemoshan, Belkuta, Governor Abiodun said facilities at the Sports Center and the MKO Abiola Stadium have been brought up to date and are ready for use. The governor noted that sports is one of the means that unites the nation, promotes skills, discipline, leadership, and nurture talent, adding that the forthcoming sporting event aims to discover more talents and nurture them to become world beaters. He said that the state sports facilities have already begun to attract attention from international sporting organizations as the African Athletes Confederation has indicated interest in staging the Under-18 and Under-20 African Championships in Abeokuta, having initially been billed to take place in Algeria. A well-lubricated economy is an asset to the people, contributes to a strong economy for the country. To end the media news, another look at the major items. The First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, at a Kipa building workshop organized by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) for members of the Nigeria Governors Spouses Forum (NGSF) in Abuja on Tuesday, called on state governments to embrace community-based interventions that will curb substance abuse and illicit drug trafficking at the grassroots. Receiving the probe, Mr. Lee Shuang, on Tuesday in Abeokuta, the Ogun State Governor Prince Dakwa Abiodun says the current administration has put in place an integrated ecosystem of infrastructure to support investment coming into the state. You also heard that the United States and Chinese officials are set to start talks this week to try to de-escalate a trade war between the world's two biggest economies. The midday news was edited by Chris Obu and broadcast from OGBC Abeokuta. For exclusive programs and the latest news updates, visit our website at ogunradio.ng. Follow us on Facebook at Ogun Radio Abeokuta and on X at OGBC 905 FM. You can also listen to OGBC on the Radio Garden.